Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So, Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck. Do we still not get Uncle Scrooge? So, the premise of this story is Scrooge wakes up in the money bin to find it empty. I'm like, okay, interesting premise, interesting premise. There are some robots there to meet him. He decides to be Scrooge and lays waste to the robots. I'm like, okay, okay. Where do we sort of get this from? But that's a conversation for a bit later. Um, Scrooge then finds there's a note saying whatever you do, don't open this box, and it turns out Earth's been invaded by the connoisseurs. All right, these are aliens that seek to pretty much take anything of value on a planet. They're collectors, so to speak. Like, hey, it doesn't we just want it and we'll take it. And they have robots that are powered by coins. I'm like, okay, so they want Scrooge's coins. Okay, okay, and this story involves pretty much another take on the Infinity Dime story, where we see a bunch of different Scrooges, and they all sort of team up and try to figure out exactly how to survive this. And yeah, Jason Aaron gets his second shot at this, and I don't think Jason Aaron gets Uncle Scrooge. Maybe Marvel doesn't, because I don't think I've seen him do any interviews. I don't think I've seen him talk about it. Um, when he wrote Uncle Scrooge the Infinity Dime, he wrote a little foreword about his time reading Uncle Scrooge with his son. So the character and those stories mean a lot to him from sort of like a personal level. Like, hey, me and my son, we connected through this. Like, it was a good memory, and I don't behoove anybody that's great. I love those stories. But when you hear him talk and then seeing what he comes up with, I don't think these two things are compatible. And I think maybe it's the idea of like the nature of Marvel Comics doesn't loan itself to sort of an Uncle Scrooge story, because this idea of like branding Scrooge McDuck as a superhero doesn't work. Doesn't work. Like, as much as I love the idea of him fighting robots, like with his bare hands, that isn't him. Um, he's not some action hero. He's an adventurer. Now, one could argue, okay, what's the difference between an action hero and between a superhero and an adventurer? Well, the best example to that would be, say, your superhero is your Batman, your Spider Man, your Superman, your Wonder Woman. Your adventurers are more in line of, say, Johnny Quest. Okay, like, yeah, we can save the day, but we didn't really come out here intending to save the day. That just sort of happened. Okay, it's like, I would gladly let the police take care of this, but it ran right by me, and I just got involved. Most Scrooge stories do not involve him stopping something wrong going on. Usually, he's the aggrieved party, and he just sort of goes off to fix it because he's the aggrieved party. Scrooge would not go around stopping invasions. This sort of rebranding of Scrooge, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, stems mostly from a take on the video games, which I don't think makes sense. All the DuckTales video games involve Scrooge going on adventures. The bad guy just doesn't want Scrooge to have the treasure. They want the treasure. That's fundamentally it. And then, of course, we look at D17, and I know, he's bashing D17 again. Okay, it's just I try not to, but D17 also doesn't quite get the idea of what Scrooge is. It's like Scrooge is like the greatest adventurer. This is true. He's a great adventurer. He's a treasure hunter. All right, he goes around looking for things to make him more money. He's an adventuring entrepreneur, an adventure capitalist, not a venture capitalist, an adventure capitalist. And I don't think that's interesting to people. They're like, okay, he's a hero. I'm like, half the things he's kind of done, he's kind of like indirectly caused. If anything, he's cleaning up his own mess. That's pretty much what Raiders of the Lost Harp was in the DuckTales '87 cartoon. Um, but onto this story. The premise is interesting. I will be honest about that. Scrooge, trapped in his memories, or rather using his memories to try to save the day, does feel a bit much, because when, again, going back to Jason Aaron's forward, he talks about Barks, which was, and he paid a little tribute to that with the Infinity Dime when he led into Christmas on Bear Mountain, which was Scrooge McDuck's debut in the comics. But pretty much everything else he pulls from Rosa. Um, every iteration of Scrooge we see in this comic is from Rosa, and technically Rosa created all of those Scrooges from different points in his life based off of notes Barks left, or hints and mentions that Barks left when he wrote his comics. So technically it's all one big Barks tribute, but I don't think we're quite getting it. Like, this could just easily be an adventure. Alright? Have Scrooge go into space. He's been into space before. He likes going into space, oddly enough. It's the final frontier. Alright? So I don't quite get that part either. Like, why can't we just do a regular adventure? Why does the world have to be in constant danger and Scrooge have to save it? Technically, the Infinity Dime is the same thing, except the thing Scrooge saves everyone from is himself, which technically he caused that, courtesy of multiverse theory. But okay, so what do I like about this particular story? Well, I'm all for more Scrooge content. I'm all for it. This is going to be someone's introduction to Scrooge. And like I said about Jodie Whittaker and Shutagawa, these aren't the best introductions, but it gets the foot in the door. And then you'll see other things. And you'll enjoy those other things. The art is all over the place. There's like 4 different artists each issue. Like, okay, we did like these pages here, these pages there, these pages. I'm like, why? Why are we doing that? I get it to some extent. We're using different artists for the flashbacks. I'm like, okay. So different artists for anything inside Scrooge's head makes sense. All right, and outside, different art altogether. But that doesn't feel consistent either. So I don't quite get it. Maybe there's something I just don't care to look at. More than likely, because this just doesn't work for me. This just doesn't. Um, I almost want to go back to the DuckTales comic from last year, because while that didn't feel like it was for me, it was at least consistent with the Scrooge going on adventures. Well, even that wasn't. Maybe I'm the problem. Nah. No, it's the writers who are wrong. Thank you, Skinner. Is this adventure fun? There's some fun insights to it, like when there are moments when Scrooge is inside his head. He talks about how lonely he feels sometimes, out there adventuring. Okay. The importance of the money bin, how each coin is a memory. I'm like, okay, the importance of memories. Moments in the Scrooge character that what he'll sacrifice to keep, or what he'll sacrifice to keep his money, and where the line in the sand is for him. I think that's fun. And the interaction between all the Scrooges wasn't that interesting either. Um, but I think if you come into this without all of that history, without knowing what you know about Scrooge, I think it's a much more solid read. All right? Because the problem is, as I think I said earlier, Jason Aaron really is just taking from Don Rosa. That's kind of it. And he's not really saying anything uniquely profound. If anything, he sort of just stops himself. Like, what is Scrooge McDuck's darkest day? The worst day? If you're going from a Rosa perspective, none of the days he picked were the worst day. We've done the life of Scrooge on this channel twice, technically. And we got one comment saying, why are we doing it twice? But that's neither here nor there. If you want Scrooge's worst day, we've got that video. I'll put it somewhere. Maybe there or there. We're doing a new recording thing, and the perspective's all off. I think Jason Aaron has it within him to write a really good Uncle Scrooge story. But what he's writing now is an Uncle Scrooge superhero story, which isn't where the character belongs. Super Goof might be better for this. I haven't read Super Goof. Donald Duck has a stint as a superhero in the Italian comics. You should go into that one, honestly. It's weird, really, when you think about it, that we don't have a lot of Disney comics in the US properly. Now, currently, we're having all these other comics. There's Cruella, there's Hades, Hercules has one, Maleficent has their second one starting. There's one of The Lion King that's currently out. Lilo and Stitch currently have one. All of a sudden it's gone. There have been graphic novels out about the Disney princesses after their whole story. There's the Mirrorverse, which is a manga. But really, there's nothing in the US about, say, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Scrooge. Like, there's really nothing. Gargoyles has one, and that one's hit and miss for me in some places, but overall solid. I just don't care about Demona enough to really warrant all of this. But for the Disney tunes, there's nothing. And at one point, that was a thing. The Disney Afternoon had their own comics for a while. I don't know. Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck, I think is a decent story that, in my opinion, I could be wrong, does not really reward Barks and Rosa fans. And I don't know enough about the Italian comics to really weigh in on that. It is something I need to work on. So if you liked it, congratulations, Mazel Tov. I'm always happy when people like things I don't like. Most of the time. So anyway, with that sort of in mind, because I didn't want to go too much into it, because I felt like if I complained too much about it, like about every single thing, it wouldn't work. You would be like, I don't want to read it. Oh, you should read it. If you're interested, pick it up, read it. If you like it, you like it. But yeah, also I just needed something to get back into the swing of things. I am so far behind. Again, I was so ahead. A couple months ago. I hate holiday season working retail. But anyway, with that in mind, if you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, smash the thumbs up button. What's your favorite Uncle Scrooge comic, if you have one? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.